Gauteng Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Elias Mawela will retire from his post at the end of the month. He is still briefing the media at the SAPS provincial head office in Parktown on the highlights of his career leading up to the 5-year stint at the helm of Gauteng Police. Let's cross live there.
Essential infrastructure task teams covering the following region in each of the 5 policing districts to address the increasing theft of cables and damage to essential infrastructure. In Tshwane, since it is divided into 8 regions, we have put together teams. Ekurhuleni 3 regions, Johannesburg 8 regions, Sedibeng 3 regions, West Rand 4 regions. All of the above teams are operating on the 24 hours and they are integrated. We have called upon everybody who has something to do with the protection and security of the essential infrastructure to work together with us so that jointly we can protect those structures. The counterfeit and illicit good contraband, the SAPS Gauteng, in partnership with other law enforcement agencies, conduct a search and seizure operation to address the peddling and dealing of counterfeit, illicit and contraband goods. This operation aimed to disrupt the counterfeit goods market and protect the economy. The epicenters of this criminal counterfeit syndicate were descended to be within the Johannesburg and Tshwane district, and with smaller quantities in the remaining 3 policing districts of the province, namely Ekurhuleni, West Rand, and Sedibeng. To this end, the following successes were achieved in the 5-year period. The operations conducted, or maybe before I talk about the successes achieved, the impact of allowing the counterfeit goods to flood our market is that it kills the small and medium enterprises. It kills the emerging enterprises. So, because it is cheap, made maybe some with poor quality and so forth, and it's just flooded all over. So the consumers, some of them, they'll prefer to go and buy those stuff, even if they know that they wear it or use it for one day only. It's okay for them because they know that they can afford to replace it tomorrow. But the biggest damage is the revenue generation. Because of these people, mainly they don't pay tax. Even when they import, they don't pay what it is due. They don't pay taxes, and they affect the emerging enterprises, and then they end up not having the locals who are running business like these people are doing business. So it is important for us as the law enforcement agencies to assist SARS in terms of dealing with those who are not complying to the laws of the land and flooding our market with the contraband. And since then, we have conducted 255 operations. Total items, inclusive of gambling machine, laptops, industrial machine, cell phones and jewelry, amongst the others. That's the big figure there. We have achieved. And the counterfeit goods to the value of, here they've seen that, I won't read this one, 3,091,641,193 rands. Those are the value of the counterfeit goods which we have confiscated for the period under review. So we have done extremely very well in that regard. Still on the reduced levels of crime, we now talk about the wanted suspect tracing. The suspect tracing by the detective service is an integral fragment of policing. It involves identifying and locating individuals who are suspected of and identified to be linked to committing crimes. The province conducts special suspect tracing twice weekly. The main focus of this operation is to search for the known, and we arrest outstanding suspects wanted for serious and violent crime and other offenses. You will recall that on a weekly basis when we do the Chanela operation, I'll say this is the number of suspects arrested by the detectives across the province. So following the successes, amongst the others were recorded during the 5-year tenure, we have a national photo imaging system, the NPS. The NPS is the system we use when we arrest somebody so that we can keep a record of all those people who came through our books, through their images. We take their photos. Here we have 1 million plus images which we are now having in our database. The DNA samples taken to assist in solving and detection of crime, 160,486. It is important for us to can build this database because in the near future it's going to assist us to can solve crime easily. Let's say, for example, you get robbed and then we say, can you identify this person? Can you describe the person to us? You give us some description. We run this photo album for you. You said, here's the person who have robbed me. And then we can immediately go and look for this individual. So the tracing of wanted suspect included in the overall wanted list had a notable reduction. When we started, we had over 77,000 in our database of people who are repeat offenders who are listed as wanted in our system. But today we have reduced the number to 35,769, of which is minus 53.77%. While the number of suspects contained on the AP's list has been reduced from 10,260 to 6,291. Thus, the decrease is over 38%. So there is an inroad. This work done by our detective on a weekly basis, ensuring that those who have committed crime, we don't give them space to rest. We must keep on searching for them. And that is why we have also established what we call it the tracking team. Their work is just to go and look for these people day and night. Because you can't just commit crime and still enjoy the comfort wherever you are. The above was achieved through the frequent suspect tracing by all detectives at station, unit and district and provincial level, as well as the initiative relating to the establishment of a dedicated provincial tracking team, like I've said, as well as the establishment of similar teams in each of the 5 policing districts. Organized Crime Secretariat. As we all know, some other people, they call Gauteng a gangster paradise. There's a lot of organized crime which is happening here. We can't lose sight on it. And addressing organized crime in a focused manner resulted in the establishment of the Provincial Organized Crime Secretariat, which we commonly call it the POCS, as well as the District Organized Crime Secretariat, the DOCS, within the province. These forums are convening on a monthly basis on a provincial and district level to enhance the bottom-up approach of the organized crime value chain, so that we should not lose sight of these ones. While we are arresting these small fish, those who are driving the crime, the real crime in Gauteng, they mustn't think that we have forgotten about them. How can we forget the Eyes and Ears project, the E2? The Eyes and Ears initiative is an official joint crime fighting initiative between the South African Police Service, Business Against Crime South Africa, and the private security industry, whereby the private security industry formally cooperates with the SAPS by relaying information directly to the Provincial Operational Center, the POCC, in some instances receiving such relevant information directly from it. Not only that, they bring to us a modern technology, the capability which, in some instances, as the SAPS, we don't have, to complement us in the fight against crime. So to enhance the situational awareness of the SAPA by using the private security industry geographical deployment footprint for the sharing of information. You know, they have cameras all over. Who can forget the Vuma cams? To enhance operational response to crime hotspot areas, violent crimes, the trio crimes, with specific emphasis on the crimes which are heavily dependent on situational information and shared consent for both the SAPS and the PSI. Some of those cameras which are mounted at the shopping malls and so forth, when we enter that space with your vehicle, if it is a cloned vehicle or a stolen vehicle, immediately the camera picks you up, it relays the information in our provincial operational command center. Hence, we in Gauteng, we are one of the provinces which have recovered more hijacked and stolen vehicles than any other. To allow for the PSI to assist each other, we needed in a non-commercial and non-competitive capacity. So we don't compete, we work together. The drone policing concept, Gauteng was the forerunner in the initiation and implementation of the drone policing concept. As the criminal landscape becomes more sophisticated, the SAPS should equally increase and improve the capacity to deal with this evolving landscape in respect of the use of technology in crime fighting. Drone policing is a digital solution supporting policing to help in the SAPS to successfully combat crime and improve service delivery. Drones offers the SAPS an air-to-ground solution at a fraction of the cost of traditional surveillance and saving of those resources, e.g. the use of the helicopter for unique incidents when they are truly needed. It is cheaper to use a drone than the helicopter, even for surveillance purposes. Even in areas where there is high walls and whatever, we can look what is happening in that particular space. With the use of the drone footage, units are able to do the planning at an operational capacity in areas with difficult terrain, densely populated areas with no access roads, and areas where the environment design assists criminal activity. So the drone, it does come handy in helping us. With the assistance of the external partners, the 13 members, SAPS members were trained and qualified as drone pilots, with 11 drones being procured and utilized in the province. You see that engagement which we embarked on when I arrived here. Asking for buy-in. Some of the private sector, they have came on board, and where I am lacking and asking for assistance for capacity building, they did come and assist. These 13 drone operators, their training was 100% paid by the private sector to support the SAPS in Gauteng. As we continue with the reduced levels of crime, over the 5-year period, in excess of over 250,000 crime prevention operations were conducted throughout all levels of Gauteng SAPS, EGS station, district, provincial level. The table below highlights some of the successes achieved during the execution of these operations. I will only give the totals. Illegal firearms recovered 53,309. Ammunition 135,560. Number of firearms distracted 44,653. The drugs arrests, we've arrested 152,188. Illegal liquor outlets closed, 21,754. And with the billion of liquor confiscated in terms of the milliliters. In an illegal mining space, we have removed over 11,361 pendukas. These are the tools of trade used there. And we have also recovered a lot of explosives. 5,021 of those explosives used by the illegal miners. Efforts to combat and reduce the levels of crime include the activities from the public order police environment. So far, as attending the marches, the gathering, the protests, including the unrest situation within the province is concerned. The totals in respect of crime management related activities are summarized as follows. I will also talk through the totals. The peaceful crowd management incident policed 7,031. The unrest whereby it has an element of violence, 2,429. And this is not the only things which the public order is doing. You will recall that in terms of the SASRIA, the Sports and Recreation Act, we are also obliged to can go and police happy people, at sporting grounds, festivals, concerts, and so forth. So we do spend some time there doing the work. Continuing in the border environment, you will recall that we have the Lanseria, we have also the City Deep, over Tambo, but I'll focus on these two, Smolanyana one. The containers profiled, which come from Durban Harbour to the City Deep, which were profiled, 3,003. The containers which were detained, which were found to be having the contraband, were 235. And some cargo which is either being posted or whatever, 1,096. And on these ships, they've managed to arrest 72 people. As indicated previously, the combating of crime include the efforts initiated and activities from the detectives environment to address the levels of crime in general, but also serious and violent organized crime and drug-related crime specifically. Successes noteworthy achievement from the detectives are summarized below. 194 cash-in-transit suspects were arrested. Those who were convicted already is 24. As we know that the cases, they take too long to finalize. And those who are still before court, 62. Number of drug labs dismantled by DPCI and organized crime, 67. Number of arrests for drug labs.
That is the Gauteng Police Commissioner briefing the media.